What if your disappointment is a direction to a fuller life? Good morning, darlings. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had something happen to you in your life that felt like a loss, only to discover later it was one of the greatest gifts you ever received? Because that's exactly where I find myself today. This is my first week working only one store as a seamstress after more than 30 years with the same company. And if I'm being honest, I was disappointed. Not angry, not bitter, just disappointed. Because in my mind, I had a plan. I only have a few years before retirement. I was trying to maximize my income, maximize my opportunities, maximizing my future. Then suddenly, one of my stores was taken away. And for a moment, all I could see was what I was losing. But what if I was looking at it all wrong? What if disappointment isn't always the dead end? What if sometimes it's a divine redirection? Today I want to talk about that because I have feeling some of you are standing in front of a closed door right now, and maybe closed door isn't happening to you, maybe it's happening for you. So grab your coffee, darlings, and let's talk. The problem is we see life through lens of loss. When something changes unexpectedly, most people immediately focus on what they're losing. The relationship, the job, the opportunities, the money, the security, the dream, the plan. We become expert of counting what's disappeared, but rarely stop long enough to ask, what might be appearing? Think about that. How many lives in your life did you cry over something that later become your blessing? How many times did you resist a change that eventually lead you exactly where you need to be? I know I have. I left Jamaica. I became a single mom. When I lost my job, when a relationship ended, when plans fell apart, every single time I thought life was taking something away from me. But looking back now, life is making room. As a seamstress, I understand alteration. You know what I love about being a seamstress? It teaches me lessons every single day. People bring in me garment that doesn't fit. Sometimes they're too big, sometimes they're too small, sometimes they're completely wrong for their body. They're trying to fit. And do you know what we do? We alter them. Not because they are ruined, no. Not because they're worthless, no. Not because they fail, no. We alter them because they are becoming something better. And maybe that's exactly what life is doing to us. Maybe what feels uncomfortable isn't destruction. Maybe it's alteration. Maybe life is taking in the seams. Maybe it's letting out the waste. Maybe it's shortening what no longer fits. Maybe it's creating space where there wasn't any before. Maybe your life isn't falling apart. Maybe it's being tailored. Let us think for a minute. When I was younger, every setback felt urgent. I needed answers immediately. I needed certain immediately. I needed results immediately. Now, at 61 years old, I've learned something. Life reveals itself slowly. Some lesson takes years to understand. Some blessing takes years to recognize. Sometimes what feels like a rejection today becomes a protection tomorrow. Sometimes what feels like delay becomes preparation. Sometimes what feels like loss becomes freedom. The older I get, the less I panic. And the more I pay attention, because life leaves clues. It does. So maybe this season isn't about making more money. Maybe it's about creating more life. Now hear me clearly. Money matters. We all need money. But here comes a point where we have to ask ourselves a powerful question. How much life am I sacrificing while chasing more? How much peace? How much joy? How much health? How much presence? How much freedom? Because sometimes we become so focused on maximizing income that we minimize life. And that's a dangerous trade, especially after 60. Many women spent decades believing being responsible for children, responsible for spouse, responsible for parents, responsible for our jobs, responsible for everyone. And because we carry so much responsibility, we start believing security is found in control. But life keeps teaching us otherwise. Control is an illusion. Trust is a superpower. The question isn't whether life will change, it will. The question is, can you trust yourself enough to adapt? Can you trust yourself enough to reinvent? Can you trust yourself enough to believe that your best days aren't behind you? Because, darlings, I do. I'm trusting this process. I've been here before. What if instead of saying, why is this happening? What is this preparing me for? What if instead of saying, I lost something, you ask, what space was just created? What if instead of seeing disappointment, you saw possibilities? Everything changes when the question changes. And sometimes the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you're asking yourself. I think society has a funny way of talking to women over 60 as if our stories is ending, as if we are winding down, as if we're becoming less. I reject that completely. I am becoming more confident, more intentional, more authentic, more selective, more peaceful, more myself. This isn't about ending my story. It's simply another chapter. And perhaps that's exactly what this store change teaches me. Not to cling to what was, but to become available of what could be. Woohoo! Hallelujah! Maybe it's your marriage. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your finances. Maybe it's retirement. Maybe it's your children. Maybe it's your career. Whatever it is, I want you to know something. You do not need all the answers today. You simply need enough courage to take the next step. One step, one day, one decision, one opportunity. That's all. Because life unfolds while we are moving, not while we're standing still. Okay? If this message spoke to your heart today, I created something for you. My free reinvention checklist, because reinvention doesn't happen by accident. It happens intentionally. One choice, one belief, one action at a time. So download it up in the bio and start creating your next chapter. Not someday, now. Now. Maybe your disappointment isn't punishment. Maybe it's protection. Maybe it's preparation. Maybe it's redirection. Maybe the thing you're grieving today will be the thing you will be grateful for tomorrow. And maybe, just maybe, life sees something bigger than you can see right now. Trust yourself. Trust the process. Trust the unfolding. Your next chapter may be closer than you think. End of the video again. This one hit me really good. I've been here already. But I was so disappointed because it was just before my retirement. I'm going to be 62 this year. I was deciding to retire at 63. So I was deciding then to semi-retire, just to do one story instead of doing two. So maybe this is a redirection, a preparation of creating my own. More freedom, more joy, more peace. So, come to the end. You know, I wrote a book. This is Not a Practice Life by Jacqueline Young Lundy. It became a bestseller on Amazon. It comes in paperback, hardcover, and Kindle. And it's an easy read. It has pictures in there, and it's very thin. So please go on there on Amazon, put the book name in and my name, and purchase it in whatever form you love, and read it. Read it. Not just buy it and put it on the shelf. Read it. And the best part, lend it to someone or give it to someone. Gift it to someone. Let them be enlightened. You do not hold on to knowledge that you can help other people with. And I'm asking you to go back, please, to Amazon and write me a review. Please, I greatly appreciate that. If you're new, welcome, guys. Welcome, darlings. If you're returning, welcome back, darlings. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and share. Share this with someone else and leave a comment. All right, let all of that sink in. And I'll see you in the next video. Much love, darlings. Bye.